Hello everyone and welcome. Ryan Ferrozmoda here with another car and drive review. I'm here with the owner, Allan, and today we're going to be going over his Volvo V60?
V60 Polestar.
V60 Polestar. Okay. I don't know too much about the brand or the cars, but I did see this car at one of the meets he came to, and it really piqued my interest. I think that one of the coolest things is definitely this huge Brembo brake kit in the front. Do you have any information about what that guy is?
No, just I know it's a 6-piston Brembo kit. That's all I know.
Cool. 6-piston Brembos, has a nice gold color that pops against this paint. I think it's a very nice color. Kind of reminds me of Dravic Gray from BMW, but a bit lighter. And nice Y-spoke wheels. Do you know what's the powertrain of this guy?
What do you mean?
Like what's the motor? Like how does it go?
So it's front-wheel drive gas, rear-wheel drive electric.
Okay.
So from what I've heard, it's about 300 front and about 150 rear.
Okay.
So in total, it's about 455 horsepower, 523 pound-feet of torque.
Okay.
Peak torque at 3,000 RPM too.
Oh wow. So definitely got a lot of power. So it's not really, so it's like all-wheel drive, but you said it's front-wheel drive based?
It's front-wheel drive biased, yeah.
Okay, cool. So I know Volvos are really big on safety, so I'm sure it's going to have a lot of push, but we're not going to really hustle this thing around. I just kind of want to get a vibe of what the Volvo branded cars are like. We're currently running on Michelin PS AS4s, I believe, the all-season 4s.
Yep.
Yep. Heard really good things on those tires. And you know how much this thing weighs?
About 4,600 pounds.
Okay, so we got a big girl on our hands.
And only 235s.
235s, yeah, that's man, I can't see these tires lasting super long.
Yeah.
But cool. I love wagons. I don't think I'd personally own one, but I think having them here, the style, you know, that you don't have a lot of them. I know the G81s, I believe, are the wagon of the M3, and those are very popular overseas. So we're going to take a quick look at the engine bay here.
The other cool part about this car is the adjustable Allan's dampers.
Oh, cool. Polestar engineer with Allan's. That is awesome.
So yeah, all you need to do is just
Twist
the
it.
knob.
Yeah, on both sides.
On both sides. And in the rear, to adjust it, you have to lift the car.
Okay.
You can probably see it if you really look for it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a knob on the side.
Oh, I think I see some type of adjustable something.
It's
that guy, the little nut.
Yeah. It's,
oh,
I mean,
cool.
It's technically adjustable when you're here,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just not.
Yeah, not really accessible. Okay, cool. Mind if I get in?
Yeah.
Open it, check it out.
Okay, I'll go and
cool. So we are hopping in right now. It's got. Ooh, I really like the seatbelts. Kind of matches with the calipers. It really pops in. We are different sizes, so the seat's not really built for me. Mind if I change it? Is it safe or whatever? Okay.
I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
If you want Apple CarPlay, like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
In this car, it's wired.
Mm-hmm.
And also the nice part about this car, it's got the Bowers & Wilkins sound system.
Oh wow.
So it's one of the best sound systems you can buy.
I'm sure. Start engine. Just put on brake.
Twist it.
Twist it.
Mm-hmm. So it starts in electric, and to get into the sport mode, you have to go into the settings. So you're here.
Okay.
Settings, then you can go to here.
Interesting.
You can also touch, like, do a few more things, like steering feel firm.
Okay.
And you'll see, even though
it tightens it up a bit.
It tightens it up.
Oh, is it like a variable rack, or just kind of? Yeah, I feel there's some type. Maybe it's just the front tires giving me some feedback, but
you'll see. Even though it's feel firm, it's still a very light steering.
Okay. Interesting. Does you have to pull the parking brake, or you just have to put it in drive?
So just reverse forward, and then
drive is down.
Drive is down, and then there's B, which is regen braking. I recommend you turn it on because you can also manually shift gears in that case.
Okay, so
side
B
to side.
braking. So is this simulate gears, or is this simulate braking?
Gears.
Oh, okay.
So there's no paddle shifters.
Oh, I see.
There's no paddle shifters, so you have to manually shift with this.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go in reverse first, and yeah, since this is very foreign to me,
it's gonna be a little strange.
Yeah, we're gonna take a leisurely drive around. So now we are in drive. Let me just adjust the rest of my seat.
So there's no regen braking right now.
Okay.
Once you're on the brake,
Ooh,
there will be some regen braking.
Kona N. Heard good things of those.
You'll feel a bit of regen when you're braking, but once you go into B, it does it automatically the second you get off the brake pedal.
So if I can switch into B now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I feel it. Oh, wow. So that's just regenerative braking on the motor?
Yeah, it's much stronger than you'd think.
And this simulates, you said, paddles. So I go to right or left to shift?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. The ride comfort, I think, is very superb. You're not getting a lot of outside noise. In regards to steering, it is super light but responsive. I think the turn-in is good with a pretty quick steering rack, which I do like. Some cars have to do a lot of turning to get it to move, but overall, it's moving its weight nicely. I'm sure at this 6/10 pace, where you're not just moseying around, it can hide its weight pretty well, especially with how they have the suspension set up on this guy. But overall, I think the gauges look very cool. It's nice and recessed back there with a higher resolution and display. You get to see your map, your speed, and the gears and all that such. So yeah, once you start loading up the suspension, you can definitely feel a bit of the weight as it's really pushing on those skinny tires up front. I'm sure with something wider it would help with the dissipation of weight, but for its purposes of not being a sole sports car, just to have a bit more of a sporty edge on your commute, it's I'm sure you could have a lot of fun with this guy. So we are going to keep it going. I think the infotainment here is a nice touch. It's kind of built into the dash. I like a clean display on top. We can test out the Bowers and Wilkins, is that how you say it?
Bowers and Wilkins.
Bowers and Wilkins audio system, because I'm sure that will sound awesome. But overall, I feel very, very comfortable in this car, and I think the seats as well are really nice. Cargo capacity and storage, I'm sure, is awesome with it being a wagon. You could fit a lot of things in here. Great for a family vehicle and all types. So I'm gonna give it some beans here and let's see how she moves. Okay, so she definitely picks up and goes. I didn't feel any notable lag, or I guess, is this a turbocharged 4 or just a base 4 with a hybrid?
It's a turbo 4.
Okay.
A turbo 2-liter inline 4. What's interesting is the previous generation of these, like the pre-update, they came with a twin charged. Twin charged, okay. But it came with also less power. I see. And people were complaining, saying that it just feels like the engine felt like it was trying too hard. I see. So it's like a really overstressed engine, you were saying? Yeah, now they're saying that it's pushing that power much more comfortably. Yeah, it definitely feels that way. It's not a very high tinny 4-cylinder screaming to put out that power, but it definitely pulls. Regards to braking feel, it's very soft and linear, which we like. I don't really like super grabby, you know, pad compounds that want to really throw you out of your seatbelt. But overall, I feel like the edges are all kind of softened, which is really nice for a commute. And it's also a brake-by-wire, so that's probably why it feels very cool. It's linear and soft. Yeah, my M3, same thing, which I think I really liked compared to the M2, because that was a very, also just with the brakes, but it was just very, very touchy. But also about the steering, when you're really pushing it, if the car like can't handle into it, what the car does is actually has brake vectoring. Oh, cool. So it will brake the inside tire to help kind of roll in. Nice. And it feels very weird. Yeah, it's like someone's holding your hand while you're going. It feels like you're drifting, kind of. Yeah, interesting. Now I'm in a Volvo. I'm noticing a lot of other Volvos around, which is really cool. But where this car exceeds and is from like a dig. Yeah, so, if you want to launch. Oh boy, she moves. I feel like a pulse in the actual foot accelerator. Is that like they did it on purpose, like a haptic thing to make you know you're... No, I think you're just, you might be kicking down the kickdown switch. Oh, it's a kickdown switch. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it didn't happen that other time, so I probably let off a bit and then put it back down and it did a kickdown. But it definitely moves. I believe you know what the 0 to 60 is? It's... So according to Volvo, it's 4.3, but according to like 0 to 60 times and like some other YouTubers, they get in 4.1. Okay. Yeah, she can definitely hustle. I feel this
mean, nothing's really scary or upsetting the car. It's taking over the roads very nicely. Granted, we're not on the worst level of pavement, but overall, it feels very, very refined, which is nice. So, yeah, I know there's not a lot of tires. We're not gonna go too crazy, but yeah, I mean, at this pace, it doesn't feel like it weighs an extra 1,000 pounds than my car. I mean, a lot of props to them. I'm sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even want to. I don't even want to test the limit.
The limit's much higher than you'd think.
Okay.
This car. It's not high, but it's not like your M3.
Yeah.
But it's gonna handle better than you would expect.
Yeah, I'm very surprised. I mean, I would never think with this little of tire it could really move and dance with its paces, but it's yeah, I feel the rear kind of going a little bit, but it not too much body roll. This is in the sport mode, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm sure is it adaptable suspension, or you
No,
just have to
I just have to
set the
twist it.
setting? Okay, so then yeah,
So,
I think overall for a one setting, very, very impressive.
this is on the factory damping,
Mm-hmm.
and I just prefer it. It's a nice mix between like a daily and sporty.
Yeah.
If you want, you can just, you know, jack up the car, adjust it in the rear, and
Yeah,
just under the
firm
hood.
it up a bit, and then you could really start chucking this guy around.
And I think there's 12 different like settings you can have
Oh wow!
in the
cool.
front and the rear, so you can do it.
Yeah,
however you
fine
want,
tune
pretty much.
to the level of performance that you really want.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have could we test out the audio? I
Yeah.
want to really hear the sound system. I'm sure it's pretty good. Oh, it's got like a fisheye.
Yeah.
back, okay.
It's also got a 360.
Oh, cool. Mine does that too. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Here we go. So it's got plenty of pickup. I don't feel any real noticeable lag from a flat foot, but obviously when you're trying to get back on it, you feel that little progressive surge. Definitely feel the weight a bit on braking. Let's see here. But if you're very smooth with this car and you respect its limits, yeah, you can feel the rear start to, I guess, drift, as you're saying. Yeah, once you start doing a quick, more of a bit of a switchback, there's only so much tire to really hold all this.
It might be a little bit better in the B.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Then you'll have
Yep,
to.
yep, it's understeering.
You have to kick it on.
Sure, B. Okay. Oh, it's nice. So it's always kind of slowing you down.
If you're off the throttle.
Yeah.
So I'd say for like an inch is the regen.
Mm.
So if you're like an inch in, it will just won't accelerate. It's the equivalent to just having your foot off.
I see. So it's like always kind of weighting up the front tires to give grip in a way, because you're decelerating. Wow. I don't know. It's just like it feels so foreign. The steering feel, I want to say, is definitely less than my M3, as bad as that is already. I'm feeling bumps, but not really what the ground is telling me, and I'm sure this car is very insulated, so you can't really hear the tires if they're talking to you.
Yeah, the steering in this car, it's very light, it's very numb.
Yeah.
But it's very like accurate,
Direct.
I'd say.
Yeah, very direct. It's so comfy in here. It's crazy.
Yeah. You don't mind
You go
driving
like,
far
nah,
distances.
yeah, you could like fall asleep in this thing.
So like
Cool.
so in this car, like the
It's got a nice soundstage. You get to really crisp on all types of
yeah, it has very, very nice separation.
yeah, that's the word.
It's very, very clear.
Mm-hmm.
And this is very gimmicky, but you can also you can play around with the treble, the bass, the
Yeah.
subwoofer.
They have a bit of a tuning.
The fun part is you can make it so it's, you know,
Oh, like you're in a stage and how the audio is
yeah, like how wide it is, you
oh
know,
wow.
how tense it is. And then you can make it sound, this is also another big gimmick
Yeah,
about the sound
concert
system.
hall, jazz club. Interesting.
I forgot the name. I think it's called. No, I forgot the name. It's a very popular concert hall in Sweden, and they tuned it to sound like you're in that concert hall.
Oh wow!
You can also do a jazz club. But yeah, the Bowers and Wilkins in this car, I really like how it's tuned.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's very good for a car sound system.
Yeah.
And also, the car, for being how it is, it's very insulated. It's very quiet.
Yeah, it's very, very quiet in here. I don't really hear much on the outside. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I'm turning in and the rear's kind of like dragging nicely around every turn. I don't know if it's, like we were talking about that brake vectoring, but when you take a hard one, I don't feel it ever want to kind of like step out. It's more of like a very controlled drag through a turn. So it's pretty cool. I know my MDM kind of does something like that, but it lets you get pretty loosey-goosey if you're not careful. But yeah, it always feels like this thing's holding my back with everything I kind of just chuck at it, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, in this car, it's very electronic. The way this car drives. Yeah. Because, you know, it's Volvo, they don't want you being unsafe and everything. So you cannot turn off traction control.
Oh, really?
In this Polestar, engineered, from what I remember hearing, it makes it a little bit more lenient.
Yeah, but it's always going to be there to catch you.
But it's always going to be there. You cannot turn it fully off, no matter what you do.
That's it's a lot of faith in their product. Then I guess if they're guaranteeing that, they want to make sure that they're doing everything in their power with their calculations and everything to keep it safe. Wow, that guy took that really wide. So we'll see. It will be a good example. So we're doing 50 miles an hour. Everyone's taking it super wide today. I don't know why. I can't even take it the way I want it. But yeah, it just finds a way to put it down. I guess it vectors really nicely with how it's grabbing with the front and the rear to push out, so you're not really slipping at all. But it kind of does the hard part for you. Yeah, you can hear one of the tires kind of slipping, but I guess that's just how all-wheel drive systems work. Oh.
You see the brakes are nice in this car?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. No ABS kicked in at all, especially for all the weight on this guy. It broke very nicely.
And on 235s.
Yeah, so yeah, it's solid stuff, solid stuff. I had my reservations on this guy as well. I thought for a car being so heavy, how can it kind of do what it does? But modern technology and engineering in cars always baffles me about the limits of what it can do, especially the way they have things set up. I mean, you change tires, or you change suspension geometry, everything, it can be a bit different, but overall for a car that has static shock or static suspensions like rates and everything, it rides fantastic. I am blown away. So very cool stuff, man. Very cool stuff.
This car is not like a M3 competitor. It's more of a like an M340i competitor.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
It's about in the same price range, just like an M340i touring in Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for like a family comfortable car, and it's definitely not slow. Like, you could really hustle this guy, but yeah, I would be careful. I would say, yeah, right under like 8/10, it's perfectly fine. But finding the limit would be a little scary. Stopping all that mass, it'd be a lot if it lets go on you. But overall, very, very comfortable car. Very, what's the word? Safe, which is completely fine. But I think for a daily, I mean, how can you? Yeah, that's what it's gonna yell. You can't really complain. This guy is truly a car I've never really experienced. Compared to like an M3 or not even the M, but the 330i's with a sport suspension, it is so stiff. I think a lot of it has to do with the tire compound, since those come with run flats, and those are just extremely stiff. You feel everything. It's very, it just kind of wants to judder and shake you apart. But even when you push the car, it's just not the same. I think they did something very special here, and granted, they're not in the same price completely for like a regular 330i to this, but overall, for what I think their one-pack solution of their suspension geometry, it does a very good job in blending the mix. So anything you want to share to the viewers about the car, or want to add anything to this review?
Yeah, and like as a daily, you can also, you get about 30 something miles of electric.
Okay.
So if you're just going about town, you can just, you know, drive it in electric and you'll be fine.
Yeah, don't really use any of your gas mileage efficiency.
And it's much cheaper.
Yeah.
And like on highway, I get about like mid-30s usually in gas mileage, which is, you know, that's
not
good.
horrible. Yeah, I mean, for a lot of cars, especially with performance, like, you cannot complain if you're getting anything over 30. And this thing really does move. It does not feel slow at all.
Yeah,
so.
And the back seats,
yeah, take a look at those as well.
Like, you can try sitting behind yourself, you'll see it's...
How do I turn it off?
Just twist it.
Other way?
No, someone also, another reviewer said, like, they should have it twist the other way.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Twist it the other way to go off. But we're gonna check out the rear. I think it's locked. Cool. We're gonna sit in the back. Oh, very this was down.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I like to keep them down because the visibility in this car is like the rear is just not great.
Yeah, you're right. It's a little slit in the back. Cool. Got the, what do they call it, the moon roof or the...
Yeah, the moon roof.
Yeah, but very comfy in here. I mean, I'm not the tallest guy to test things.
Yeah.
So it fits me fine. I'm sure anyone in my height would. How tall are you?
5'10".
Okay, so 5'10". Yeah, it looks like you got about enough room. I'm sure 6 foot would just squeeze in just fine. So
you get heated seats in the back.
Cool.
You do get vents, but you don't get your own climate controls.
Oh, I see.
So when you're in the hybrid models, this whole center thing is taken up by a battery.
Oh wow.
So that's why there's no, you know, middle seat.
Yep.
So you don't get your own rear climate, but I mean you get also 2 USB-C ports.
It's not bad.
And the trunk. Oh, and you also get this with a nice cup holder.
Cool.
And the trunk.
Yeah, we should take a look at that as well.
It's a bit difficult getting out of the rear.
Yeah, it's a little tight.
So the trunk.
Powered trunk, which is always nice.
Got plenty of space.
Yeah, could fit a lot in here.
And in addition, you can fold down the front seats.
Oh yeah, so much cargo room. You can fit really anything.
Yeah, I moved out in college all in one go.
You
know, I fit skis going directly down.
Yeah.
And it does have a ski pass-through.
Oh, cool.
But I mean, yeah, it's in the middle.
Yeah.
But I mean...
Yeah, it's fine. Just the business. Yeah. So I'm very impressed. If you guys have one of these or have ever wanted, I know there's not a ton of coverage of these guys on YouTube, so I'm glad Allan was nice enough to let me have the opportunity to take it for a spin out on our private road. So if you guys like this content or have a car that you want me to try to get to review and check out, please leave a comment down below. And like always, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Ryan out.